Is Mojtaba Khamenei now dropping a fresh warning to Donald Trump, hinting that a deadly Phase 2 of the Iran-US confrontation is just beginning as missiles start to fly again? Is the IRGC flaunting its Khamenei's revenge missiles as it pounds US-linked Arab allies across the Gulf, sending a message that Iran's answer to Washington will be written in fire? Caught on camera, is Iran now firing back at the United States and even shooting down an enemy MQ-9 drone, proving it can hit back in the skies as well as on the ground? On July 9th, Iran's Revolutionary Guard released a video it says shows missile strikes on US bases across the Gulf, turning battlefield footage into a loud warning to Washington. The footage surfaced right after Iran launched retaliatory strikes in response to recent US air raids, framing the attacks as payback rather than the opening shot. In one striking image, a missile in the video bears the slogan Khamenei's Revenge written in Farsi, branding the salvo as a personal response to the slain Supreme Leader's death. Iran claimed these missiles were aimed at US military facilities in Kuwait, Bahrain and Jordan, signaling that every American foothold in the region is now fair game. The IRGC also pushed out separate footage that it says shows an enemy MQ-9 drone being shot down, portraying the shootdown as proof its air defenses are on high alert. Iran says the MQ-9 was destroyed during the latest exchange of fire on July 8th, casting the downing as part of a broader clash that is steadily edging both sides closer to open war. Iran launched missiles toward US allies Jordan, Bahrain, and Kuwait after American bombardments, widening the battlefield and directly threatening Washington's regional partners. Jordan said it intercepted 8 Iranian ballistic missiles that entered its airspace, showcasing its air defense systems and underlining how close the kingdom came to suffering direct hits. Air raid sirens sounded across Jordan for the first time in months during the attack, sending residents into shelters and reminding the public how quickly regional tensions can spill over their borders. According to Iranian media, the missiles targeted US bases in Kuwait and Jordan's Mojtaba Salti Air Base, signaling Tehran's intent to hit American forces wherever they are stationed in the neighborhood. Iran also reportedly targeted Kuwait's port area during the latest missile barrage, raising fears for the security of vital Gulf logistics hubs and energy infrastructure. Claims emerged of an Iranian attack on a US warship in the Gulf, but these reports remain unconfirmed, adding a layer of uncertainty and potential alarm over maritime escalation. Meanwhile, the US said it has struck more than 170 Iranian military targets in 2 days, pointing to a sweeping campaign aimed at degrading Tehran's warfighting capabilities. Washington stated that air defense systems, missile sites, drone depots, and naval assets were hit, indicating a focus on dismantling Iran's ability to launch further strikes by air and sea. For the first time since April, US forces also targeted Iran's strategic bridges, suggesting a move to disrupt internal movement and logistics inside the country. Iran said a key rail link used for trade with Russia and China was hit by cruise missiles, highlighting the economic and geopolitical cost of the strikes beyond purely military damage. Those strikes halted rail traffic to Mashhad, the city where Khamenei's funeral ceremonies are taking place, intertwining the military campaign with a highly symbolic moment of national mourning. Tehran vowed to keep fighting until it thwarts what it called US strategic objectives, signaling that it sees the current confrontation as an existential struggle rather than a short-term flare-up. Israel said it does not expect the latest US-Iran escalation to spill into its territory. Donald Trump said he remains Iran's #1 target, while speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One during his return flight from the NATO summit. The remarks came after reporters were instructed to close the aircraft's window blinds, prompting questions about whether additional security precautions were being taken. When asked about the unusual request, Trump replied they were on a dangerous flight because of what he described as continuing threats from Iran.
They wanted to see, so they came a little bit early and we switched planes.
So you're saying there wasn't a security concern?
No. Why
Was
would
there
they?
any other issue? No issue?
No, except we sent it a little early. Same line, going back.
So
We sent it a little bit early so that we could let them see it. The base, the whole base came out and saw the plane, and then we landed.
Do you know why they had us close our window blinds? That was not usual.
Well, yeah, because you're probably on a dangerous flight because of the sleazebags that we have to deal with.
So you think that Iran was possibly thinking of trying
Well,
to...
I mean, if they asked you to close your windows, probably they feel that way. They didn't ask me to close mine, but if they did, I would have done it. You know, these are sick people, so I could see something like that. I didn't know they did that, but I could see something like that.
were you aware of any credible threat by Iran against Air
Well,
Force
I have
One?
a threat all the time. I'm number one on their list before you. But if I go, you go, right?
But was there a
So
specific
perhaps,
threat today?
perhaps someday you want to change professions. What do you have, Daniel?
CENTCOM posted that there are strikes ongoing in Iran, so can you give
We just hit them very hard. And I say we hit them 20 to 1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
Are we returning to a full-scale military conflict, sir?
I don't know. I don't know. We'd win it very quickly. It's another way of doing it. We have many ways we can win, but we've already won militarily. They have very little. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly.
Trump also joked that members of the traveling press might want to consider changing professions, making the remark while discussing the perceived security risks. The comments came as Trump returned from the NATO summit held in Ankara, Turkey, where regional security and the Iran conflict dominated discussions. Trump switched from the older Air Force One to the new Qatari-gifted Boeing 747-8 midway through his return journey, according to the Associated Press. Bloomberg reported the new Boeing 747-8 was flown ahead to RAF Mildenhall before Trump departed Turkey on the return leg of the trip. ABC News reported the U.S. Secret Service recommended switching aircraft as a precautionary measure while planning the president's return flight. Sources quoted by ABC News said the decision was taken out of caution amid the escalating conflict involving Iran, although officials did not publicly detail the specific threat assessment. Trump insisted the aircraft change had nothing to do with security concerns, despite reports that the Secret Service had advised the switch as a precaution. An Iranian official claimed Donald Trump was within Iran's reach during his visit to Turkey. Iran says it deliberately chose not to target Trump in order to preserve relations with neighboring countries. The official said Tehran exercised restraint despite growing calls to avenge the killing of Ali Khamenei. Iran claimed maintaining good neighborly relations took priority over attacking the US president. Ayatollah Zaghami said, and I quote, "Trump was within reach for retaliation over Khamenei, but in order to preserve friendship and good neighborly relations with neighbors, we did not target him." Unquote. The official also called for Turkey's ambassador to be summoned over Trump's actions. Iran accused Donald Trump of directing attacks on Iran while attending the NATO summit in Turkey. The remarks came as the ceasefire collapsed and the United States and Iran resumed exchanging military strikes. Earlier, an Iranian MP claimed Trump's presence at the NATO summit presented an opportunity to target him. An IRGC-linked channel claimed that Iran launched a large-scale missile attack targeting multiple U.S. military bases across the Middle East. The channel said several American military facilities were struck, though it did not disclose the exact locations of the targets. Kuwait's military confirmed that its air defense systems were actively intercepting hostile missiles and drones over the country. The Kuwaiti army said, and I quote, "The Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting hostile missile and drone attacks." The General Staff of the Army notes that if explosion sounds are heard, they are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is kindly requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Kuwait said the explosions heard across the country were caused by its air defense systems intercepting incoming threats. The Kuwaiti army urged residents to strictly follow official safety instructions as the attacks unfolded. Tasneem News reported that the U.S. Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain was targeted once again on July 9th. Local sources quoted by Tasneem also reported fresh explosions in Bahrain following Iran's latest attacks. The latest wave of strikes marks a significant escalation in the rapidly worsening military confrontation between the United States and Iran. The Persian Gulf has now emerged as the latest flashpoint in the expanding regional conflict. Iran's retaliation has intensified fears that the conflict could spread further and draw multiple Gulf states into a broader regional war.